Some service members got to stand right alongside the biggest names in basketball Monday night. They were introduced in the starting lineups along with members of the U.S. men's Olympic basketball team before Team USA took on Brazil in an exhibition game. And even the commander-in-chief was on hand to cheer Team USA on to an 11-point victory. The women's team also beat their Brazilian counterparts. Team USA will soon head to London to compete in the Olympics. But even these All-Stars need a little practice, and our very own Petty Officer Michael Wilkin was on hand as the team took center court this weekend for their last practice here in U.S. soil.
The best basketball players in the world brought their talents to the nation's capital this weekend prior to heading to London for the 2012 Olympics. On Saturday, the team held practices at the D.C. Armory, and this wasn't any ordinary practice. Team USA took the court in front of thousands of service members and their families. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Martin Dempsey, was on hand and talked about the similarities between representing our country on the court and on the battlefield.
Young men and women don't leave their forward operating base. They don't get into a submarine. They don't strap themselves into the cockpit. They don't get out on a flight line or onto a carrier deck unless they trust their peers, they trust their leaders, they trust the institution that supports them. And I let it just sit there. I didn't tell them, therefore, you need to trust each other. But in having that conversation about what makes us an effective team, and the foundation of which is trust, I think they're clever enough young men and young women to figure out that the message is, if they're going to succeed in London, they better learn to trust each other in an extraordinary way.
Kobe Bryant, who says this is most likely his last Olympics, says the inspiration he drew from the crowd will carry this team all the way to London.
So much inspiration. It's funny because when people ask me about playing under pressure and things of that nature, I say, well, if I miss a game-winning shot, we lose a ball game. If you look at our armed forces, what they do, that's real pressure, at a level that is beyond our comprehension, and what they have to face on a daily basis. And having all road games, that's serious pressure. So, my hat goes off to them, and there's just so much respect that I have.
In addition to the open practice, there was a shooting competition where one service member was paired up with a Team USA player. Lieutenant Commander Charles Dray was paired up with Darren Williams. After some strong performances by the other competitors, Dray and Williams lit up the scoreboard, scoring 26 points in 45 seconds.
It's great. I mean, it was such an honor to represent the Navy and the military and the men and women of the military and their families, and then also having the wounded warriors here. It was just a tremendous honor to be here, and it was so awesome to be out on the court with even by the NBA players, and Team USA, the team's going to represent our country, so it's a great experience.
Let's hear it for our winners! After the practice, several soldiers participated in a ceremony in which they gave the American flag from the right shoulder of their uniform to a Team USA player to take with them to London. Kevin Love talked about the feeling he gets when he sees the men and women of the U.S. military cheering on Team USA.
They humble us. I mean, they do so much for our country, and no matter what it is to represent our flag, we just go out there and play basketball. So they're the reason we have our freedom. They protect and serve so we can live the lives we live today. So, I mean, it's pretty cool to be out there performing in front of them, but, they're doing all the good deeds for us, really, so we got to pay homage to them.
And thank you so much for honoring us today. We hope to honor you tomorrow.
Petty Officer Michael Wilkin, TPC News.
And of course, good luck to Team USA, not just the basketball team, but all of our great athletes heading to the Olympics over in London. We look forward to watching you.